welcome back to Cross Stitch the Globe. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Allison.
And this is a channel about cross stitch. I was explaining to my non-stitchy friend yesterday who's thinking about starting a YouTube. I'm like, I was like suggesting like how she could start hers. And she's like, that's so smart. I was like, no. I just copied everyone else. Like you just start your video with, this is a channel about X, so that people who are not here for it or know that it's not for them.
Yeah.
But this is a channel about cross stitch. So hopefully that's what you're here for.
Yeah.
We have 3 kinds of videos on our channel, and people find us through all 3 of them. So if you're new to a Flosstube episode, it is a very deep dive into our personal stitching. We're really excited. We have a lot of fun secrets to share.
Yeah,
like we're very excited. Then every other week we do a deep dive in between like these. We do a deep dive into like a topic that we don't have time for in these. Because if you've noticed, the timestamps on these can get long. So last week we put out our first in our like highly requested, like long anticipated, very exciting free pattern series. We did 30.
So fun to research.
It was so fun. 30 free summer patterns. And so if you have not seen that video yet, after this one, go watch that one. That has in the description the links to how to find all of the patterns. And we both each found, there ended up being 32 total, and we each found about half of them. Mm-hmm. So the styles range from prim to modern to like cutesy to spooky,
and they're all different sizes too. They're not just the 3D tiny ones. There are tiny ones, but they're big ones. Yeah.
And Katrina from Tartans and Threads and I decided we are going to start somewhere in the village, but we're going to start it on her birthday, July 3rd. So it's not going to be my birthday because I'd already changed my birthday SAL to Hello from Liz Mathews.
Yeah.
But we're going to start it for her birthday SAL. So if you want to do somewhere in the village with us, the details are there, and I know a couple people already started it from them. Like that was a very popular one, which made me really happy.
Very cool.
All right, so on our next extra, I think is a continuation of our most expensive series. I think it's most expensive magazines, cross stitch magazines. Cool. No.
Is it our whip parade?
It's our whip parade.
It's our whip parade. I was like, weren't we just talking about how scared we are?
So the next 2 extras
about
are our
doing whip parade?
The next 2 extras are our whip parade, and then the one after that will be most expensive magazines.
Yes.
So then the next 2 extras are like going to be good.
It's a lot. It's going to be
I'm very excited.
I'm nervous.
Yes.
The first whip parade was going to be a lot shorter than the next.
Well, we are splitting it up. We're going to film our whip parade in one go, but we're going to split it into 2 halves because I'm not putting out a 5-hour video. I'm just not doing it. And so, like the last one was 2.5 hours. Like my computer can't handle a 5-hour video. And the time that it takes to film that will take up the same amount of time as we would normally film 2 extras in. So it just has to be 2.
How many whips
do I currently have?
Do you think?
Well, the good thing is I'm not starting anything before
We're doing
Friday.
now then?
Unless my 1, 2, 3 shipboarding gets here, and then no, I'm just kidding. I will not start anything new before now on Friday. Okay. We've already arranged that I'm gonna come drop it off
earlier. Else I'm
gonna drop my whips off on Tuesday so that she can iron a little bit at a time or at her leisure. Because otherwise, when I get here on Friday, all of the time would be the ironing. And Allison
is how many? Because mine has grown exponentially.
Well, okay, so some of mine are restarts, some of mine are models, which I might show them, but I'm no longer gonna like count them as whips. So like, I'll probably take them out of the parade actually. So if I take out my models and the restarts that aren't restarted, 40.
Oh my.
So we are going to split it into 2. Mm-hmm. And Allison, but we really like how the iron stuff looks on camera.
Oh, absolutely.
And Allison is really good, and her iron station is also like
easy.
Like it's not like at my house where I have to like go find the iron, then I have to iron on a free. Like Allison has like a setup. Yeah. So we like the ironing, but it is a commitment. And I know people appreciate it, but if you appreciate Allison's ironing, definitely let her know in the comments because she does hard work. And if it was just me, I wouldn't. I probably would because now I'm like used to it.
Yeah.
But I probably wouldn't. At the beginning, I would never have started it. But now I'm addicted to the ironing.
It feels good. They feel crisp and nice.
It's when I take a lot of my Instagram photos, it's right after because on Sundays because they're ironed.
Yeah.
So I can get the photo in.
Yeah.
And then, okay.
And there's something about putting it in the hoop after it's just crisp and nice.
Well, there's also something nice about taking it out of the hoop or the Q-snap when you know, okay, this is the last time I'm going to work on it before it goes. And you kind of look at it and you're like, oh, this would this kind of looks great. But then once it's ironed, you're like, oh, this looks awesome. I know there's theories about whether ironing isn't great for your projects, like, but I'm just an ironer.
I just like it.
Yeah, I just like it. Right. There's something about like it, like there's always a chance if your iron has water in it that you could.
It does not have water in it.
But I need to get a dry iron for my house because that's an issue with my iron, not with yours. My husband's iron, because he's like a iron his t-shirts kind of guy.
This is the only thing I ever iron. You would not catch me ironing anything else.
All right, so and there's a third kind of video we have on our channel.
Yeah,
not a good sign for today. We do short beginner tutorials on Thursdays. They're mostly for people who buy patterns and now a booklet from our Etsy shop. But they are also for everyone, and by putting them on YouTube, then any beginner can find them even if they've never heard of me. And if you come and watch those videos, but you're an expert and you think we left out a tip or whatever, feel free to leave it politely. Don't be like, these girls don't know what they're talking about. They'll be like, oh, I have a third way or a fourth way. Or have you ever considered this? Because I've been stitching now for a year. You've been stitching for almost 7 years. Yeah. Or now that it's December, 7 years.
7 years, yeah.
So she is not a spring chicken, but there's always new techniques. So we love when people chime in on those videos too.
Absolutely.
All right.
Share the knowledge.
So we do have a bunch of secrets to reveal. If you saw the title, we're going to reveal, my booklet is ready the cover's not ready, but I'm ready to show you guys the booklet, and it will be, by the time this video goes live, it will also be live in my Etsy shop. Which eventually you're going to have stuff in there too. We're just...
Yes, maybe.
We'll see. But the booklet will be live, but we're also going to show our garden zig before we show it on Instagram in a few days. And we'll talk about that more later. But before we dive into our personal stitching, we like to kind of share some love with the community. First, we like to thank people that mentioned us, recommended us in their channels. So first of all, Joy, Carolina Stitchers. We love the Carolina Stitchers. I always watch them. We talk about them all the time.
Yeah.
Their mother-daughter, Emma Kay, the daughter, is having a baby, which is very exciting. So if you like...
That's so congratulations.
And Joy's been stitching for decades. Yeah. But they mentioned that they watched us, so thank you. But also, it's not here yet, but my 1, 2, 3 stitch order that I made yesterday is 100% Joy's fault. I'm so excited about the project, and I'm so excited to show you guys on our next Flosstube, whether it's stacked or a new start. But I promise I will not start it before Friday.
If you do, you just have to iron it yourself.
The Stable Stitchers mentioned us and said, well, we're going to talk more about the Stable Stitchers and Flosstube University, but what they recommended about our channel was that they liked that we had a lot of like really good beginner videos, and just that they watch us, which is just like the biggest compliment. So nice. Because if you guys have ever seen them, their stitching is impeccable. Their projects are amazing. They live in the Kansas City area, so they're like some of the coolest people on earth live in the Kansas City area. I'm a Jayhawk alum, Rock Chalk. University of Kansas, for like everyone who doesn't know the very specific Big 12 like lore. Hobbies Holly, which was really great because she commented on our process versus project stitcher extra, which is again one of the I hope you guys got stuff out of it, but filming that video, I got so much out of it. Hi, I'm editing Stephanie here. Our screen went green and pink for like 10 minutes. This happened a few videos back. I don't know why it's happening or how to fix it. I tried to re-render it. I tried deleting the part that went green and re-adding it. I don't know what's going on. My daughter is running around like a maniac. But this is kind of like the last chance I have to get this video exported. So what I missed was thanking some people who mentioned us and congratulating some people. So I'm just going to read everyone's name really quickly. And I hate giving people short shrift because we did record like reasons to go check all of these people out, but I'd rather mention and thank everyone than not get to it because of technology. And my children are running around, so I got to do this fast. So we mentioned Hobbies of Holly. Megan the Seattle mentioned us and said she was funny, which caused Allison to tell a hilarious story about our mom telling Allison that she's not funny, and I'm really sad to lose that story. But if you're not watching Megan the Seattle sister, definitely go check her out. Oh my gosh. The Shaky Stitcher mentioned us. It was her first Flosstube episode. Go check her out, especially if you like cutesy and spooky and modern stitching. Rosanna from Bright and Dusty started one of the free patterns from our free pattern video on 46 count. So go check her out if you want to see adventures in tiny stitching. Jax's Creative Inspirations mentioned us as someone that she watches, and Create with Tess thanked us for talking about her from her first Flosstube. And then Renee from the Golden Familiars, who we love, who makes the Stitch and Go cases and lives really close to us, posted her second one and mentioned us, and she showed a bunch of like her stitching. So her first one was a lot about her shop and her products, and the second one was more about her stitching. And then Natalia from Official Mermaids Cove, but that video went live like right before we filmed, so we hadn't seen it yet, and so we made jokes about we don't really know what she said, but we love her, and she does mermaid stitching, fancy lady stitching, so definitely go check her out. And then we wanted to congratulate Elizabeth from Savory Sewing for hitting 1,000 subscribers, Maria the Green Stitcher for hitting 1,000 subscribers, Crafting on the Plains, Jacinta for hitting 1,000 subscribers, Miss Chloe SW for hitting 1,000 subscribers, the Crow River Stitcher for hitting 3,000 subscriber, and Addie's Cross and Quilts for hitting 100 subscribers. Those are all milestones that people celebrated themselves. So if you know a milestone that someone is excited to share, send it to us. We're happy to congratulate people. We love it. It's one of our favorite parts. And then Handmade by Sarah W. Hit a year on Flosstube, and Bella Filipina hit 9 years as a design company. So that's so exciting. And then the Shaky Stitcher, who I already mentioned, had a birthday. So happy birthday. All right, back to the non-crazy part of the video. Thanks. All right, guys, it's time to reveal some secrets. So we had 2 secrets we're going to reveal today. I'm going to share the booklet that I've been working on that I told you guys about, and then we're going to share our Secret Sal choices. So first of all, I told you guys in the middle of March that I had an idea for a booklet, but it had to be done by June to coordinate with something important. And I had way too ambitious goals of what needed to be stitched, and not everything got stitched that I wanted. So there's a pattern I had to drop out of the booklet because it needed a model and didn't get one. But I can reveal that the topic is, and some of you guys are gonna love it, and some of you guys are gonna be like, why is she so excited about it? Okay, so the topic is Game of Thrones. A little secret about me is that I am in more Game of Thrones podcast creator Patreons than I am in cross-stitch designer Patreons and memberships. I am in 3 Game of Thrones
100%.
Patreons, and I'm in 2 cross-stitch Patreon / Ko-Fi memberships. Yeah. So I love Game of Thrones. Don't actually like the books, but love. Actually, Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which I lent to you, is actually
that's the only one I haven't read.
Is an amazing book. But I don't love the Game of Thrones books. I've read like some of them, but I love listening. So I love watching the TV show, and I like listening to podcasts to go very, very deep into the books more than I like listening to the books, or reading the books. So I'm gonna give them another shot. But I love Game of Thrones so much. So the booklet is called Cross Stitch of Ice and Fire, and it is 12 charts that are based on film locations that they used in the TV show Game of Thrones. So you guys already saw Skogafoss, which I showed you guys last week, but I'll start showing the models and the locations. So the one you guys saw last week, or last Flosstube, is Skogafoss in Iceland, and it was used as a location where John and spoilers for the Game of Thrones TV show.
If you haven't seen it by now, go watch it immediately. But sorry, I mean, it's been years.
So John and Danny flew their dragons, and they made out in front of a waterfall. Well, they used this waterfall, and they digitally enhanced it, and it was a winter scene, but it's this location, and it's such a beautiful place to go. So these are pictures of the real life places, not whatever digital enhancements HBO did to them.
Yeah.
Which is also why it's not a copyrighted shot. Anyway, so that's number 1, and then there's another chart in the booklet that I'll show now. That is the same waterfall, but it's an 8x10, and it's 20,000 stitches on 16 count, and it is got the rainbow in it because there's always a rainbow at this waterfall.
Yeah.
So Skogafoss has 2 charts. a 4x6 on 16 count. You can obviously stitch it on whatever count you want, but the goal is to make as many of them as possible fit in like regular frames. And then an 8x10 if on 16 count. And then this is the model I finished this week, which is a little hard. Like in person looks great. It doesn't come across as clear. And,
on the screen.
Yeah, let me see if so. Because you gotta see it kind of at a distance. But anyway, it looks great in person. But it's based on the dark hedges in Northern Ireland. Well, that actually looks really good now. And it is uses the King's Road in Game of Thrones.
Oh, there you go.
So I took 2 pictures of it. It's the same picture, but they're kind of like slightly different editing. So one is this 4x6 that looks very like an impressionist painting when it's stitched. And the 6,000 stitches, and then one is like the same, but it says an 8x10, a little bit darker. So if you want like the real detail of all the trees and stuff, you can stitch it in much more detail as an 8x10. I was gonna stitch a bunch of 8x10 models.
Yeah, that would be a lot. It's really good though.
So those
it's really good.
Oh, in person it looks so
I
good.
know.
It's funny that this doesn't show up as much.
Because the other ones look so good.
Yeah. Well,
but this looks so much like
in person. It looks great.
It just looks great.
But there's also, if you like the idea of that, but you want to see it in more detail.
Yeah.
And then this is the pattern that actually got me thinking about it, because this is one of the first patterns I released. But this was a filming location for Eastwatch by the Sea for Game of Thrones, and this is a place in Iceland. And so I included this version, but then I also redid this pattern so that it is. So this one is like close to, it's like 5 by 3.5 on 14 count. I recharted it so that it is a version that is 4 by 6, so it matches the size of these with over 40 colors, so you get like much more detail, and you can see that here.
Yeah.
So it's the same photo, but it just has a new colorway that hasn't been released before. So you get both colorways if you like the book. And then, so that's the, oh, and then yours.
Oh, okay. This is a finish. No, it's not. I wish.
So
I'm so close. Don't, we're not going to say anything. It's so close.
So this is the Gate of Medina, or the Medina Gate in Malta. And a lot of people know that King's Landing was filmed in Croatia, but that first season was actually filmed using Malta as the King's Landing. So this is the gate that Catelyn enters when she goes into King's Landing. And then, so that's a 4 by 6 on 16 count, 6,000 stitches. Mm-hmm. And then there's another that is the reverse of that gate on the outside. I think it's where Catelyn and Ned said goodbye, but I have to double check that. It'll be in the book. That is an 8 by 10 with 20,000 stitches.
Oh, so looks fun.
Both of those locations, you have the choice of, do you want small or do you want big and detailed?
Yeah.
But I think that looks really good.
It looks really good small.
So she's gonna do the last 200 stitches tonight and then bring it to me
200
tomorrow.
stitches of beige. It's all the same.
So that I can photograph it and get it in the booklet tomorrow. But that's the only. I mean, I just got to do all the photographs tomorrow anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the 2 that are in Malta. So that is 8 patterns, and then Jen from Jen's Fiberweb was so kind.
Oh my gosh.
And stitched a model, like just messaged me and was like, I know, this is like, do you want me to stitch a model? Like, yeah, sure. Do you want to do a blue one or a green one? Because I didn't want to tell her what the book was or anything until like, was like, you know, because like, anyway, so she said green. So I sent her Dunluce Castle, which you can see her stitched version here, and I'll also show the original photo. I've probably been inserting, who knows what I've been inserting. But she, it's incredible that she stitched, and she finished it because she's keeping it, which is why it's not here. Because I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, stitch me a free model and then I'm keeping it. She stitched it so fast too. And she's actually like inspired me to switch from stitching these typewriter to color completing, which once I had gridded fabric was really easy. It was not as much fun on non-gridded fabric because I don't look.
There's a lot of counting. Yeah.
But once I had gridded fabric, color completing actually was really fun. But she like flew through it and it looks so good. And it is based on a castle that is in Northern Ireland, but it's called Dunluce Castle, but in the show it was used as the Isle of Pike. It's called the Castle of Pike on the Iron Islands, where Theon Greyjoy's family is from.
Very cool.
So there's that pattern, and then there's another pattern where you see more of the castle in detail. That's an 8 by 10. That's 20,000 stitches. So you can either do 6,000 stitch castle or you can do a 20,000 stitch castle. And then, okay, there's 2 more. So, this model is really funny. So, so the Azure window in Malta was used in the very first episode in the background of Daenerys's wedding to Khal Drogo. Oh. So I wasn't going to leave the location out. Yeah. But this has no places where it has like solid stitching ever, block stitching ever, because it doesn't have a sky. Mm-hmm. So it took a lot longer than I was expecting, and so I got to this one, but I was like, no, this has to be in the book, and it doesn't make sense bigger because it looks so good small. Mm-hmm. So all I had time to do was but I was like, you know what? If I can make sure that the blues are right, this will look good, because it's really the blues that you have to stitch the most of, because the blues can be so off, and they were. So I swapped a lot of the blues, got them where I liked them, but I know the stones are gonna look great, and I've already checked all of the threads in it and everything. So I'll be working on this. This is what I'll be stitching during the show, is this 1,300 stitches of this one color of blue that I have outlined as fill-in. Yeah. So I'll be watching a game, House of the Dragon. I'll be watching every Sunday night, just doing like 200 blue stitches. But so this is like perfect TV stitching. Yeah. But I just checked that the water blues were good, because the beiges always look good. It's the blues that always look. Yeah. There's something about the way that it's. Anyway, I fixed it. So the Azure window is 6,000 stitches. It's 4x6 on 16 count, and then the small that I didn't get to include was one of my favorite places I've ever been. The other thing about the Azure window is that it collapsed into the sea, so you can't go visit it anymore. So I really wanted to include it because it didn't collapse because they filmed there. Okay. But they always knew it was going to collapse, but it collapsed 5 years before they thought it would. But yeah, it just collapsed during the storm. So you can't see it in person anymore. You can still go there, and there's other beautiful things there. And I've been there since it collapsed too. But it's really beautiful. But anyway, Mirabilia in Greece, a lot of people don't think of Greece as a Game of Thrones filming location because none of the actors ever went there. But they took a film crew and they filmed this beautiful scene of these rocks that I'll show you. And then they digitally inserted it, so when Tyrion is in the castle in the sky in the Eyrie, and the Eyrie, and they're threatening to throw him out the moon door or whatever. When he's in that room, the view that he's looking at is a scene in Mirabilia. Oh. But when you're standing there, you're just I'm standing by a dam, and you feel very safe. But it is still it's one of the most beautiful places. So I wanted to include that, but it is a very complicated sky, and I didn't have time to make sure all the sky colors were right. So I just recharted it as an 8x10, where it has enough detail that it's going to look great. I still might stitch that small and sell it in a year or two, but I'm not going to get to it anytime soon. But I have it all kitted up, so I'm not going to dekit it. Yeah. But it couldn't make it in the booklet, so I recharted it as a larger pattern instead. Yeah. But
well, that's cool.
So so there's 7 filming locations, 12 patterns. Some of the patterns are just the same views, different sizes. Some of the patterns are totally different views. Northern Ireland, Malta, Greece, and Iceland. So even if you don't like Game of Thrones, but you're I really love
travel.
Yeah. And I didn't re-explain this, but a lot of you guys know I'm a professional travel writer is my day job, and so I started cross stitch to convert photos into patterns, and then just got sidetracked by
She didn't just go to these places.
Mirabilia May. I didn't go to these places to make a cross
to get a cross stitch, but
when I put out this pattern and I was writing the description as it was a Game of Thrones filming location, I was I have a lot of those. That might be kind of fun. But then when it was March, and I was oh, what am I going to stitch during when House of the Dragon comes out? And I was I have a lot of choices.
She called me immediately. I was in the middle of a presentation at work, and I was I can't talk right now. She's no, but I have the best idea. Well, I can't talk right now.
And it actually inspired me, because I think booklets are going to be something doing a few, maybe 6 patterns that are on the theme or whatever as booklets, instead of they won't all need 12. But I just wanted to put everything I had. There's a few places that didn't make it, but and if it sells really well, maybe I'll go to Spain and take some more pictures.
Yeah, you got to do it.
I really don't need an excuse, actually.
Let's just go.
But there's a lot left. So if people really like the concept, I can make another one happen. I just got to go to Croatia. But well, I run a whole website about the Balkans, so that would be a business expense anyway, and I could also just get pictures for this. But okay, so the booklet is available right now on Etsy as a download.
Right now.
As a booklet. The goal is to have it as like both like one file and then also each of the patterns broken out into their own files, because that will be much easier to put into markup and stuff. But I haven't actually uploaded it yet, so I don't know what you guys are gonna like. That is the goal. I have done all the research to do it as like a physical book, and I can do it through Amazon, Kindle Direct Publishing on Amazon, but it's gonna take a few weeks. So if you really want like a physical book, that will be possible, but it's not gonna be ready yet. I'll let you guys know when that does go up. And now, I don't know if the price will be more on that, because I don't know how much it will cost to like print the book, plus the shipping, whereas like if you buy a PDF, you don't have a shipping. So the prices on Etsy and Amazon may not be related to each other. And then also what I decided is I'm gonna do a 20% off code. So if you use the coupon code Flosstube20, you can have 20% off between now and our next Flosstube. So let's just say between now and the day after the show premieres, season 2 premieres.
So did they get 20%? It's Flosstube 20 because it's 20% off, or because it's our 20th Flosstube? Because it is.
Okay, well, it is both. Obviously, I planned that.
Obviously,
it's 20% off because because it's our 20th, and because it's 20% off, and it's the second season. There's only gonna be 8 episodes. That's heartbreaking. But so if you love House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones, and you were like excited to stitch something, if you don't but a partner does, if you just like pretty pictures and you don't care about that, but you're like, oh, these pictures are pretty, whatever, you have 2 weeks to use Flosstube 20 from when this goes live. Probably a couple hours before this goes live, but that will be in the past by now. Anyway, thank you so much, Allison, for almost finishing the model.
Almost doing it? Okay, I will do it.
Her husband was joking that like she should be stitching during this and I should be like, stitch faster. No, she already told me, she's like, I'm gonna stitch it, I'll drop it off at your house tomorrow, and I have the perfect Lannister red and gold frame picked out for it. I'm so excited. Then tomorrow I gotta do the pictures and the final stuff, and it'll be up. Thank you so much to Jen for doing it. Doing a whole model stitch and photographing it, and I mean, her stitching is also impeccable, and she found an error, not an error, but she found like a ninja stitch that really didn't make sense and like fixed it, and like that's the kind of stuff where on these little ones really matter. On a big one, it's not going to affect as much, because you're not likely to have one ninja stitch that doesn't make sense. You're likely to have like a little patch, and it does make sense, and if you choose to delete it, that's fine too. But like on these little ones, it matters. So that's why it's so great that so thank you so much, and go subscribe to her, because she'll show it. She said she's going to show her FFO of it in her next Flosstube too. Awesome. All right, so that is secret number 1. Is that my top secret project has been I don't know, a travel nerd's paradise. And then you're like, oh, wait a minute, I've been to 7 Game of Thrones filming locations on accident. I went to Meteora because it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and I just wanted to go. I went to all the Iceland spots before they filmed any of those scenes. So they were filming Game of Thrones in Iceland, but I didn't go to any of the places that had been in the show as of yet, because I went in 2011. Malta. Actually went to Malta because of the book The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. But that's like
read that.
It's really good. But at the end of the book, she goes to like, there's a scene, like a scene that takes place in Malta, and I went there because of that and not because of Game of Thrones. And I don't know how much I knew about what they had filmed and where, because I didn't have pictures of some of the most famous filming, so I don't remember. But I did go there because of a book, but a different book. And then I went to the places in Northern Ireland. I did go because of Game of Thrones. Like, you don't end up at the dark hedges in the middle of nowhere, like, if you're not trying to do Game of Thrones tours. I'm like, that doesn't happen. So, but still, it was weird. It was that's awesome. I'm a weirdo. So
that's awesome.
I hope if you are like me, come and stitch these. And if you do stitch them, I'd love to see, tag us and anything. I'd love to see them. It's so exciting when people stitch our stuff.
Yes.
All right. You want to do the next secret reveal?
We can do the next secret.
Okay. Yeah, let me put, I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to put these to the side.
Okay.
Secret number 2 was, yesterday was the big reveal call for Garden of Zig, which was a secret SAL hosted by the Hathaway Stitchers. The rules were that you could, so we all downloaded or bought Garden of Zig, and you could stitch it in any colorway you wanted, on any fabric you wanted, and any count you wanted, and any finish you wanted, but you couldn't do the called for and you couldn't tell anyone. So we did the reveal Zoom yesterday. Allison actually
could go.
And she didn't tell me this the time I found it today. She skipped it because she was still model stitching, and I feel really bad about that.
No. It's fine. It's totally fine. That's good. It was my fault.
No, it wasn't your fault. Your markup XP crashed.
It did crash.
That was not your fault. There was an update on markup XP that made hers obsolete, and she had to
figure out what I'd already stitched.
Which on some patterns is no big deal, and on full coverage is like real pain.
Yeah.
So another reason why I think I might color complete from now on too is that
would have been easier.
Yeah, you'll just be like, oh, I already got this. Okay. Yeah. So she sacrificed herself for the greater cause, but of Game of Thrones that she does not even watch.
I love Game of Thrones. I do not like House of the Dragon.
Oh,
and I don't know why. They're just not the same.
They're very different. Well, like I have listened to 1,000 hours of explanation about Targaryen history without ever reading the book that it's based on.
Oh, okay.
So it might be that too, as I have a more foundation in who the character. Anyway,
okay,
that's a different. We should
different conversation.
All right, so I revealed mine yesterday. I know the Hathaway Stitchers are going to put together a video. Some people started posting those on Instagram. I was like, let's do ours for our Flosstube first because we've been teasing this for weeks, and then we'll post it on Instagram later this week when this will come out. Okay, do you want to show yours?
Yeah.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2.
You can tell mine is not finished.
Well, mine's not finished either. If you can.
Which is not a rule. When they came out, they're like, no, you don't have to be done. I was like, okay, good. Because I'm not going to be. So I either have to drop out or not finish.
Yeah, no.
All right, so what were your choices?
Okay. Oh, I have them right here.
Oh, yeah. Yours is living.
So mine is.
In your case from the Golden Forest.
I have 2 projects living here. Ooh. So these are my colors up here. And then the white is actually DMC Diamond white. So it's a little bit sparkly and personal.
Let me see.
A little bit sparkly.
It's so dark in here that
I know. It's raining.
You guys are seeing the true colors though. It's just, oh, I can see the sparkle.
Yeah, the sparkle.
Yeah, it's very true to color. The colors are actually looking great on here. It's just,
yeah.
We have a soundtrack today.
I know. Did you see the thunder? Or the lightning? Gonna be loud. Okay. I'm using, what did we say? It was Mystic.
It's Picture This Plus. Yeah. Because it's the call for candy. Is that why you bought it?
Yes.
Okay. Which is a free pattern from Whittier Stitches.
Yes. I did Tristan the cat. So I used that fabric. So it's blue mottled with, I like the
I love it.
The bright red, pink, orange looking flowers. I think it looks good. I was going for like a flowers in space, kind of. Does it look a little bit like not of this earth? No. I think look up.
I mean,
look up.
I didn't.
No.
No.
Okay.
It looked fantastic. I did not get a space vibe.
You don't think this background is very spacey?
Maybe if it was opalescent.
That's what. Okay, I could have done an opalescent one.
But also,
that's what I was trying to go with the.
I just thought it was beautiful fabric. I just think it looks beautiful, and the blue makes those colors pop so much without being boring. Yeah, it pops so much more on there than it would on a light fabric.
Agreed. Anyway, that's fine. And then the reason I am 75% down, or I don't know my actual percentage, but I'm so close. But if I show you that I restarted that much.
But I love that you say this because I think this can be used for something too. Like,
yeah, I started in lighter colors.
I also like that. I like that too. I think you would have had a hard time with the lighter colors when you hit the light patch.
Yeah.
But I also love this. Allison, your stitching is so good.
Thank you. So I am planning on finishing it. I do not have a deadline anymore, so who knows?
Who knows? I had originally was like, well, I'll finish that May 31st, so I'll put it in the state fair. And I'm like, that's not getting finished this year.
Okay, mine could get finished this year. Maybe I should make that my goal. State fair.
Oh yeah, you should totally enter that in the state fair.
State fair piece, yes. It would feel extra special since I picked it myself. Not the pattern, but the colors. And the fabric.
Oh, so they let Tracy Horner from Ink Circles know about the SAL, and she messaged the Hathaway Stitchers. I don't know who it was that messaged them, but like specifically which one. But she messaged back that she like thought it was such a cool idea, and she, you know, like once you pick a colorway, then it's like fun to see like the, you know, the sliding doors of all the other ones. So, all right, mine is so mine is I pulled this orange and teal color palette that I'll show here, and then went to my stash and like pulled silks that I thought matched that. So this is done with a mix of Bestitch Me, Mo's SAL, Fiberlicious Semi Fibers, flosses, oh, and Stitchy Box floss. So there's 5 flosses and 4 companies that did it, because I really was just looking for like what matched the colors that I wanted the best.
So pretty.
So they're all silks, and a lot of them are like one-offs. So I have the conversion written down, but I don't know. It would be insane to go out and purchase this conversion. You should just take if you want to do something similar, you should just take the color palette that I showed and go find flosses that you have that are closer to that. But so the stems are like a teal blue and a green teal, like a teal blue and a teal green. And I like where it goes more into the blue. I think that's fun. And then the flowers are gold, like a bright gold, a bright orange, and then a variegated that has like light orange, but kind of goes from yellow to like, this one kind of has both colors of the other. So it kind of like, but it's on 40 count Into the Veil by Bestitch Me, which is the fabric of the month. And I love it. And the only thing I'm really sad about not finishing, because I have other things I can enter in the state fair, and I got to show my colors. So like, and I will get finished eventually. I just need a break from it. The only thing I'm sad about is that because I didn't get to the bottom, I can't cut the fabric off yet. Like, but this might be something to pull out for like Julie's motif a week or something, like.
Just like your next 2 motifs.
Yeah, just do like maybe half a motif because they're big, but like, 40 count is something I really was enjoying, but I just, no matter how hard I push myself, I really can't do more than 15,000 stitches a month. And when I push myself really hard one day, it just results in me the next day not being able to do as much, right? Like I just end up like, I've either hurt myself enough where I can't physically stitch the next day that much, or I've like not gotten something done, and now the next day I need to do more real life to make up for it. So it's like, I did 14,000 stitches in May, which Memorial Day weekend, and I was sick. I stitched every day, but like to average 450 stitches a day in May, it's like, that's pretty much my limit. So I just didn't have room for anything besides the models and Mira May. And so I was like sad about this, but I was also like, you know what? Like I want to enjoy it and I want to finish it. Because I thought about just finishing this flower and saying it's done, but like I really like the whole pattern. I want to finish it.
Yeah, finish it.
And seeing, you guys have to go, I'm sure you guys are subscribed to the Hathaway Stitchers, but when they put out their like reveal video, you gotta go watch it, because there were so many different colorways. There was patriotic, there was Christmas, somebody used 29 colors, there was neon, like Elisa Frank neon. There were so many cool different things. Cool. And it made everyone, and every time I was like, oh, I should have done that one. I should have done that. And I love mine. I'm so happy. And I don't.
These stitches are so good.
But like 40 count is slower for me anyway.
I love these tiny
They're so
stitches.
tiny, and I love it. And I want to finish it.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna,
for sure.
And that project has been living in this Kathy's Posies bag, which I didn't even want to show the bag on camera because I didn't want to give away that I was doing a soft gardening version, because like there were so many things.
Yeah. Like yours and mine are completely different concepts.
Oh, totally. and then yours, what count is yours? 16?
16 count, yeah.
And mine's on 40 count, so equivalent of 20. So mine is, my top row is so small compared to that. But it also means that I have limited time in the day when I even can be stitching on it.
Yeah, I can work on 16 anytime.
I have been thinking like maybe I should get some 20 count Ada for something at some point, because the stitches would be tiny, but it'd be a little bit easier. But here's my flosses.
Very pretty.
And then I stitched it with this princess hoop, which is a little bit wobbly. This is one that could use some washi tape, but I love it. All right, so all the secrets have been revealed.
Yay!
we have a lot left because you might notice this video is longer than whatever time this is. But all right, whips.
I have not.
Oh, wait. New starts. Did you wait? Did you have any FFOs?
No.
Okay. Did you have any finishes?
No.
Okay. All I had were the FFOs I already showed.
Yeah.
Of I have no other finishes.
Yeah.
Did you have any new starts?
No.
Okay, I did have a new start.
Oh, okay.
I had my last Mira May. Well, I also started 2 models, but I had my last Mira May start. This is the back of the skirt on Stargazer and by Mirabilia. So my Mirabilia May, my plan was to stitch on my 6 Mira whips and do 3 new starts and do 500 stitches on each, and I got to all of them.
Yay!
I would love to. November might not work because with Christmas stitching and fall stitching, but maybe next May, like see if I can have like just one, like see if I could do monogamous Mira May and see what happens.
Mira May.
Not my. What if I did monogamous
I think
Mira?
your brain would break.
Mermaid. What if I did monogamous Mira Mermaid May and only did Waiting on Ships next for May every day and just see what happens?
I think it's a great idea.
Lolly from Lollipop Stitches pulled out her Lilith of Labrador was like didn't have that many stitches. She had like a lot left.
Focused.
I think it's like if it's not completely done, it's like halfway beaten.
Really?
Like she's so good at like focusing on a project.
Yeah.
Not a skill I have.
Not you.
But so she did almost monogamous mermaid, Mirabilia May.
Yeah.
But Stargazer are so pretty. If you guys remember last time we were talking about like
what
colors the dress, because it's colors are so deceiving. And so you guys might be curious because on the picture, I thought it was like purplish and you thought it was more grayish.
I thought it was like a whitish.
Whitish,
yeah.
like. But I did go ahead and organize the flosses during the Vanderpump Rules reunion because I couldn't stitch.
It's blue.
It's dusty blue. And it's gorgeous. And this was already the bag that was going to live in regardless. So how fate, like that, this was going to live in this bag because I decitted something from it regardless. And I thought I was putting a purple fancy lady in here and I was just like, it is what it is. No. Like, that's crazy.
Yep.
It's fate.
That's fate.
So it's on 32 count vintage country mocha.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently
I like
this was not attached. That's not great.
Uh-oh. Well, you know what color.
I know what color. Oh yeah. Anyway. So I was stitching her with this oh wait, this is the princess, the other was a duchess. I always mix them up. But I love it. I enjoyed it. I was stitching it while I was watching Stitching at the Cabin, and those ladies, I love watching those ladies, and I hope that the baby is here and she's not still dealing with the baby not being here, but so can't wait to see their next update. If you love full coverage and you're not watching Stitching at the Cabin, they're just a delight. So anyway, so I have such fond memories while watching their video, stitching on this. And then this is this is the second time I'm using Vintage Country Mocha because the round robin I'm doing is on it. And I like it. It feels different than other linen. You can definitely feel the printing, but not all the way to a witch
printed one is.
Right? It's like it's got a little in common with the witch hilt, but it's this white printed swagger, that like sheen that but it doesn't go into a place where I don't like it.
Yeah.
I really like it. I love her. So that was my last. I started her with Kat from Whittier Stitches and Jordan from Needle House. I haven't seen progress updates from them, so I don't know how far along they are. Kat used to film really regular Flosstube videos, and then her life got a little bit lifey, and so I can't wait till her next video, basically. All right, that was my only new start that wasn't a model.
I showed you all of my projects.
Allison was, she was so dedicated to getting this model done. It was so sweet. Okay, I have 4. So I have 2 mirrors and then 2 other things. One actually is a Nora that just came out for specific reasons. So this is Fairy Flora. Yay.
You are getting so far.
Yeah, but then you look, it's a really big pattern though.
But
it's not one of those patterns that's just like a lady. It's like a lady, a giant rose garden, and roses up here too. So it's not close to done, but it is fun.
Far.
Also, there is a situation where one of these stitches is a half stitch and I've had to carry it all the way down. And I haven't really game planned what it's going to look like to get out of that situation. Because it's like, if you know, it's like, I think what I have to do is work all the way down and then go out so that the up is right. So that I'm not off half a stitch somewhere weird.
Dude, don't look at me. I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, I love it. I'm doing this as the Fairy Flora
Maybe we should
retirement
ask
sal.
someone who's used to working on linen who's had this situation.
I'm embarrassed.
What do you do? Well, you've already told people.
What do you do when one of the things is accidentally half stitch and you can't get out of it and you have to just carry it all the way down because you only notice it after like 20 rows?
Yeah, what's the answer? I'd like to know.
So I know where it is and I kind of move it around a little bit so that it doesn't just like stick out as like there's just a half stitch. And so these aren't like as great like they should be, but I feel like it won't be a big deal.
Okay.
But I feel like if I do the bottom and then go out and do the flowers and then do the bar, like do the border is actually back stitched. But if I go ahead and back stitch the border fully, then I'll know how much space I have to work with. And then I can...
Sounds good, but I don't know.
I don't know. I had this situation happen on Coffee and Eggs with her dress, but her dress ends and it doesn't affect anything else. If you just know I'm a half stitch off, don't count off the dress.
Just don't know.
But here it's like...
You have to.
It's... Otherwise the whole piece is going to... Because of the border, the whole piece is going to be a half stitch off. And where that half stitch off goes could really... I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it too much.
Yeah, totally. Maybe if you keep moving it outwards and then it'll disappear eventually.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. Because what I'm thinking is I can't count off the top, right? Because now I don't know where the issue starts. So I can't add the issue in because then I might be doubling the issue. So I think I have to count off the bottom because
Maybe
it's now a permanent part of this.
You should just go find out where the mistake was and then...
I'm not redoing 1,000. Like... Okay, so the mistake is somewhere up here.
And it's somewhere up here and you were...
I'm not redoing the whole... No.
Okay.
This is a fudge it situation. I just don't know what the best...
Fudge method.
Fudge it, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm doing this as the Fairy Flora retirement sal with Rachel from Lucky Floss and then Memphis Sarah E. She joined us. She finished her Touching the Autumn Sky.
Oh, did she? Oh, congratulations.
That's my unicorn.
That's
she finished it. I told her
I didn't know that was your unicorn.
It became my unicorn.
Okay.
Mostly because I know I'll never spend over $100 on it, and so and every time it goes up on eBay, I'm thinking more and more like, I want to stitch it, but I want to do a conversion so it looks like Molly.
Aww.
And I don't want to cry right now.
Don't cry.
There's also like another anyway. So I've decided that like that is my unicorn. That one pattern that like if I found it, but I'm not going to pay the crazy prices.
Yeah.
Or if I am going to pay the crazy prices, I better know I have a month and a half to stitch it or whatever. Now it's not one of the bigger ones, so I could stitch it in like a timely manner. But anyway, so I told her
one in a timely manner and then borrow it from someone else. But you'll have to prove you could do a timely
manner. I know.
and
I'm like, it's like I wouldn't ask someone to borrow it.
Yeah.
I can't stop and only work on it. But I am going to constantly. But it is my unicorn. I told her I was living vicariously through her. Every update brought me so much joy.
Yeah.
I just loved it. But yeah, it's like one of those patterns where
so
it's like...
we don't have any real life stitchy friends where we could be like, can I borrow?
Well, and also I wouldn't because it's like...
You wouldn't borrow? I would borrow stuff from you.
Yeah, but you're my sister.
That's what
like,
I'm saying.
The thing is that, like, okay, if your house caught on fire and my $300 pattern burned up, I wouldn't hold it against you, right?
You'd be
like,
kind of mad.
No, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
No. Also, like, we're in a situation where you can just make a working copy and give me the pattern back and you trust that I'm not going to work on it and and so it's not being doubly worked on. But there's nobody I know in real life who I'd be like, can I borrow your $150 pattern and spend a year on it?
Yeah.
Maybe 2? No.
Yeah.
So I will eventually find it. I'm not worried about that. But it is my unicorn. So, guys, today. Oh, and then a couple other people have started this recently. The woman who won it from us. This was the giveaway. Was a second copy of this retired. So this is now retired. We started it right when it retired as like a
Fairy Flora retirement.
Her retirement party. I'm stitching this on 28 count earth by Fiber on a Whim. Just copied Rachel's. I love it. Oh, also, my white stitches. We're looking so good.
They do.
Now, not where it's dealing with this half stitch situation, but where it's just over here.
Yeah.
They were looking so good.
They're looking great.
Sometimes I hate my white stitches, but these.
Because it's so dark, everything's washed out by that light.
It's looking good. It lives in this. Oh, these are both Carrie Sews 3 bags. I love her bags. They're like so perfect for like putting something big in. Because Fairy Flora, she's got a lot of floss. She's big. And I'm stitching her with this princess oval.
Duchess? You said the oval ones are the Duchess.
No, the princess has the little. Okay, the princesses have the crowns, and the duchesses don't.
Oh.
And this is the crown. That's how we're gonna remember.
That is so sweet. Did you make that up?
I just did. Yes.
I love it.
So feel free to send me your vintage hoops that you don't want because I no. Beck stitches everything.
Yeah.
The new. So she was talking to me before she started her floss tube about vintage hoops, and she said she like bought some, like based on seeing me show them, and like I was just like, I hope you like them because they're expensive. Like if you don't like them, I'm sorry. Oh, like, I really hope you like them because I love them so much.
Yeah.
Like I love them so much, but some people like different things, and stitching is different for everyone. So.
Yeah.
I hope you like them, but if you don't like them, at least you know you can resell them for
absolutely.
probably more than you paid for them in a year or two. But if you're not, her channel is so good. Am I fully caught up? She put out a second video, and I don't think I'm fully caught up on it yet. Her channel is so good. She is doing Christmas, or she did Christmas stockings in the past for everyone. And a lot of those Dimension Kit Christmas stockings that are like very pricey.
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing, guys?
I don't know what
okay. My last Mirabilia project was to do 500 stitches on Elizabeth and the Lavender Sky. I restarted this because I only had like 100 stitches. So I'm converting it to full coverage because it's like basically full coverage. And I'm like, wouldn't it be nice to have a full coverage Mirabilia that I can not worry about like fancy fabric and I can just like do it. So I switched it to 16 count gridded Aida. But because I'm converting it to full coverage, this border is just one stitch, and you would normally have like a 1/2 inch of linen. But I converted the border to a 3 stitches, and then I'm going to do 1 or 2 stitches of ecru around it or white and fill in so that because I don't want to leave any fabric around it, so you can still see the whole border. But I'm using an old skein of 640 as the border, and I did not process mentally that this 640 actually looks a little different than the current 640. And it's one of the few DMCs that really does look different. And I realized that when I was stitching. So I need to, next time this comes out, I need to pull out a new skein of 640 and see if it's going to be a problem. Because what I'm not going to do is stitch 90% of a 3 stitch border and then find out.
Switch colors.
Yeah.
No.
So.
How do you know it's old?
Because it's.
Oh.
It's like one that I
Oh,
got
it's
off Facebook.
old.
It's old. I got it off Facebook Marketplace. It's one of those like old ones. So, if you have an old skein of 640, like one from the era where they looked like this, and I don't even have a full skein of it. I don't know what I was thinking. Not checking.
I'm doing, you can't see it at all. I'm doing the Garden of Skulls with an old 602, but I got a new 602.
And they're the same. And I can't tell if it's just how dark my apartment is.
Yeah.
So what I need to do is next time I get this out, I need to get a new skein of 640 and put some stitches in and see if it's a problem.
Yeah.
And if it's a problem where they're like very, very, very close, but you can kind of tell, then I might just like mix them together. So it's like, but I already did this much, so I can't like do too much crazy. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I just did that on Memorial Day weekend while I was like sitting there talking to relatives. And I'm doing this one in a metal Gibbs Co hoop that has a spring. which I have a bunch of the vintage metal ones. I don't love them as much as the wooden ones. I just mentally, I just feel like I'm gonna hurt my fabric, but they don't.
Vintage hoops is that it's all mental.
Yeah.
Game.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about the mental game.
And it lives in this Carrie Sews For You cat bag.
It's probably the same with me using the cheap box store hoops because it feels cheaper and I like that.
You do like, I like when things feel like a bargain. You like when things feel cheap.
I do.
Like, when you're like, not like, if somebody gave you $100 thing for free, it doesn't feel probably as good to you because then you're like, oh, I got this expensive thing I have to take care of.
Yeah. I like the cheap stuff.
Oh, Elizabeth and the Lavender Sky is out of print, but it is like one of the cheapest out of print Mirabilias out there. I still see it on eBay sometimes for like $8 plus shipping. So if you like her, stitch her with me because no one is. We can come up with a hashtag. We can have some fun. No one stitches her. So like, I would love it.
But the 90s are back. So
she's back. The 90s are back.
The 90s are back. Get her out.
Oh my God. Some fact hit me like a ton of bricks the other day. It was really scary. What was it?
My coworkers are now so young that they're using language I don't understand anymore.
This is okay. Yes, and also you're not on social media really.
No.
The only social media you're really on is
I do Instagram.
Instagram, but you don't really do Flosstagram. You don't have like I have my Floss Instagram.
Yeah.
Flosstube Instagram, and here are Instagram handles if you want to find us. But I also have a travel one, and I follow all the Bravo and like reality TV and stuff accounts. So I see a lot of like TikTok videos come through and stuff, but I don't like TikTok, like using it as a platform because as a travel writer, I have a lot of pressure to like make TikTok videos and I hate it. So I just don't do it. So my friends are real big on TikTok and I'm like, that seems like so much work.
My old boss told me to download TikTok, but she was older than me, like a lot older than me.
Isn't she also older than like our grandmothers?
No, different old boss. But anyway, she was like all into TikTok, and I'm like, you should know about TikTok.
This is what I was. So we went and saw Mamma Mia, this video.
It's wonderful.
So we went and saw the Broadway touring company of Mamma Mia.
Fine, that can't be good for it. You just told me it was like medicinal. This is like medicinal Diet Coke.
Okay, so you guys, I'm gonna leave that part. I'm gonna cut everything out before that, but I'm gonna leave that. This is my medicinal Diet Coke. Okay. So we saw Mamma Mia, the touring production, like the come through. It was so good.
It's really good.
And so I decided to watch the movie last night because our sister, when we were leaving, we were like, well, now we have to go watch the movie. And Valerie was like, it's not on any streaming services right now. So she messaged us that like it was on HBO Max. Finally, we had to wait like 4 days. And so I was watching it last night. You know, loving it. My daughter was like, I sent really cute videos.
Really cute.
Probably watching it.
Really cute.
And I was like, you know, this looks really old. When did this come out? It feels like it just came out. What? 2008. The movie of Mamma Mia is almost 20 years old. Like they filmed it like 18 years ago. Yeah. Unacceptable. No, the sequel came out in 2018, so that's more like, but also like no, I don't like it. All right, I have 2 more whips.
My 20th high school reunion is this summer.
I already had mine, so. Okay, I was like, mine didn't feel like it was 2 years ago, but yeah, mine was 2022. Okay, so I only pulled this out because so this is Moonglow. I only did 50 stitches in it, but basically I'm gonna give my white floss to someone who's also working on it, and I wanted to make sure I had, because I'd already done the moon, and I'm not doing the individual confetti, so I just wanted to do enough that I know I had all of this white done so that then I could count out, okay, how much do I need for the rest of it? And so I could just send her the whole bobbin of it and not try to like piece it out. So I just did 50 stitches on it, but because it was the last day of Mirabilia, it felt really good. Nice. And I just love it.
Hey, it is gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
And at the pace I'm working on it, I'm gonna love it because it's gonna be a longer relationship than my first marriage. Yeah. A lot of these whips are gonna be. Not the whole relationship, but the marriage. Okay, so love it. But yeah, I just was coming in and getting this white stuff that I hadn't gotten before because I don't like the confetti stitching. Like there's a bunch of little ones. I'm gonna replace those with more white beads because you get a ton of beads. So I'm just gonna do more beads instead of the individual stitches because I think it'll be better. Yeah. But because also like you waste a lot of floss to come over if you're traveling. And if you don't travel, you have to do a pen stitch, and I'm just not interested in doing that right now. I will learn it one day. I did watch the Tattoo Stitcher had a really good tutorial on how she uses the pen stitch to do front starts, but for this I would want to do like a back pin stitch because I still don't have the skills or the sharpness of scissors needed to do a front pin stitch. But that video was really good. If you're like, how do you do, I want to do front starts, go watch that video. It was really good. I'll link to it in the description. But yeah, so I mean 50 stitches really, it's like, is it worth it pulling it out just to show you 50 stitches? Well, don't worry about that because I'm going to pull one out that I did even less on.
No way.
So, Lisa from the Sassy Southern Stitchers had a birthday, and her birthday SAL was like very low key, like just stitch on a Blackbird. And I had all this other stitching, but I was like, I'm going to pull this out for Lisa's birthday. So I did 30 stitches just to be like, I'm going to do it. But down here in the fence or the gate, because I really want to get to the other side so I can get this other half of it done. But this is going to come out a lot because June we got Strawberry Moon SAL hosted by Marjorie Maid, plus the Fab Four fan style that I started for is rolling on. Then I'm going to do a little bit of it for Create with Tess's Sound of Music SAL because it's Strawberry Fields Forever. So she's going to get a lot of love in June. So I didn't even bother, like, I did stitches. I started a second one so that if my kids chilled out that day, I could have gotten a little bit more in. Yeah. But they did not. So
no chill. Your kids never have chill. They don't know what chill is. Leave it out.
Lakeside Linen. This is 32 count vintage porcelain from Lakeside Linen. The pink is showing up great today. A lot of times it shows up kind of washed out, but the pink is showing.
That's good.
It's a very cool pink with the tiniest little stain right here.
Yeah. Well, just tiny.
Yeah. Normally, if you see a stain on my projects, it's like it's a lipstick in the corner from holding it during Flosstubes, but I don't know what this is. This is a mystery.
Yeah.
All right. It lives in this strawberry bag from Kathy's Posies, and
we'll put it away because
I'll put it away for now, and then I'll get it back out.
Okay.
I'm stitching it with the Call for Original Arts, and then there's a couple other fancy flosses that I have subbed in so that it's all Original Arts. Glow lives in this Jasmine's Custom bag, Ouija board bag. For some reason I didn't put her away. And she's just being stitched with a Q-snap. And then all of my models now live in my
I love that bag.
gnome bag.
I love that gnome bag.
Our sister was here, was like,
come on, Valerie. That's cool.
She's 36. In a few years, she'll be like, no, this is great. So my model is going back in here. This is also by Carrie Sews For You. All right, and that is my stitching.
Yay!
All right, so what is next?
What's next?
Plans. What are your plans?
Okay, so I said this before, but I am starting Fruits of Plenty, Modern Folk Embroidery. I'm starting it with Fanny from Soul Stitchers, Cross Stitch Couture on Instagram. We're gonna start it. I think we decided the 14th. I'll have to look at my thing, but I think we're starting on the 14th. She's giving me enough time to dye my own fabric. So
are you doing that today?
That is what I'm doing.
Are we still doing that today?
No, we can't do it today because I
ordered the fabric. That's what I thought. We placed a big 1, 2, 3 stitch order.
Yeah.
Not big by
big by mine.
Not big historically, but like larger than I was expecting. So.
Yeah. I still owe you money. Okay.
Any other plans?
No.
Are you gonna be so excited to be done with the model and just stitch what you want?
Yes, because I haven't stitched on Lady of the Flag in 2 weeks, and I miss her.
Yeah.
So, and I need to get on it because I really
Joy
want
from
it.
the Carolina Stitchers is doing your Ink Circles calendar as part of the building block SAL.
Oh, that's cool.
If you want to join that SAL, you could use that as an excuse to get caught up on that.
I have not heard of this SAL.
Oh, it's like where you take any like project where the pattern is like blocks. So like Hawk Run Hollow, or like one of those where it comes out as like 10 different things and you put them together.
Yeah.
And it's the building block. So.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. I definitely want to pull that one out because it's been forever.
Because she showed it, I was like, oh yeah, I missed that piece. I haven't seen that piece in a while.
I know. I need to pull that out.
And you could do a little Eleanor Rigby for the Sound of Music.
Oh, I could do that.
Lots
of fun things.
Do you see Sarah's Stitchy Spots pillow finish of
Yes.
Rigby. Did we talk about this
It was
already?
really cute.
It's so good.
It's really cute. So those are my plans. And yours?
So on June 11th, Rachel from Licking Floss and I are going to start Blackbird by Blackbird Designs, which is so it's the anniversary of the day the song was recorded. So we were like both going to start it and just like find it a good date, like a serendipitous date to do it. So we're like, hey, June 11th. And I ordered my, I already showed you guys last time, but I got my threads and I still have to pick out fabric, but I'm going to do stash fabric. And that is for the Fab 4 fan sale, which I forgot to, guys, I don't know what we're talking about today. So during, it's for the Fab 4 fan sale, which I'm hosting with Julian Stitches, and it's also for the Blackbird Designs Magical Mystery Tour Sal, which is hashtag BBD Magical Mystery Tour Sal, which is hosted by Sarah from Sarah Stitchy Spot and Peg, who is on Instagram. Sarah just finished her Eleanor Rigby as a pillow.
It's great.
It's so good.
It's great.
And she's also stitching Strawberry Fields Forever. And then I gotta get back to WhipGo because the last 2 months I've like been so focused on these models that I'm like behind on WhipGo. One of my calls for this month was Cinderella, and then I listed out all my old WhipGo sals or WhipGo calls that I didn't finish. And a lot of them are really like things I'm really excited to get back to, like Mirabilias and Coffee and Eggs and things.
Coffee and Eggs, it's been a while.
There's been a few calls for my the Turkish shop, which is one of my models, and since I'm not going to show my models as whips anymore,
Not even your back?
I kind of want to rechart it and see, now that I'm really into stitching these on 16 count
Yeah.
gridded, I only have 2,000 stitches on it.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see, could I rechart it on 16 count and get it down to like 30,000 or whatever, where the restart ends up saving me 20,000 stitches. And so I don't want to put any stitches in it until I know, I'll show it during the whip parade,
Okay.
but I don't want to put any stitches into it until I know what I'm going to do with it. So
Okay.
maybe I will set a goal to restart it for this year's, I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, so I'm not going to stitch on that right now. That was my other call for June. So, but I am going to go back and get the old WhipGo calls that I missed. Because my deal for myself was a WhipGo call was 1,300 stitches, but it just had to be done in the year. So
Yeah.
I don't feel like behind, but I am like, oh, very excited to get back to some of them.
Good.
Moonglow needs 2,600 stitches. Like, I think Coffee and Eggs is getting 1,300. Like, projects I love that I haven't now seen in 2 months.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Moonglow, but very excited to get back to those. Catch up on some sales. I'm never gonna be like caught up on Deadly Aquarium, but I want to get back to it. This is the first time I'm not caught up on Herbalist Sal, so that should be really easy to get caught up on because the one that came out is super cute. One will come out tomorrow, and then so I'll just do both of those. But I'm just excited because it's like I love doing those models, but I don't like only stitching full coverage. I like stitching probably like 30% full coverage and then 70% other things.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to keep working on models, but I won't feel like I have, like it's the only thing I stitched in the last week. And I feel a little dizzy.
It's the only thing I stitched in the last
Yeah.
week. But I really enjoyed it though. Like because I had put away all of my full coverage and sold this, and now I'm like, oh, I do like full coverage.
I love full coverage.
I only did full coverage for 6 years.
She didn't stitch anything.
I didn't stitch anything except full coverage. So, oh yeah, I really do like it.
I like full coverage. I just don't like only one of anything. And that's why I feel like I could do a monogamous month of something, but then at the end of it, I'd be sick of it and probably put it away for longer than, like, I could do a monogamous Mermaid May, but then at the end of it, I'd probably be sick of it and then probably put it away for 4 months. Whereas if
but
I
what
didn't,
if you finished it?
That's the thing is I think I can only do it if it's something that's going to be like done.
Done.
But we'll see. Okay, so, and then so I'm working on these stockings for the kids. And I gotta get back to them because a lot of it is gonna be fill-in of the coats because the coats on the Santas are really big. So I gotta start them again. But one of the categories at the state fair is the stocking. And it's like, can I finish one of these in July and then fully finish it myself? A lot of things, but that's gonna bleed into July too. And then I'm gonna do a big Christmas in July. My birthday SAL is in July. So all right.
For that one.
Stitchy Kindness, actually this is perfect. So I'll explain the birthday style again for 1 minute and then we'll share the Stitchy Kindness that we're going to use during it. So I'm turning 40, so I decided to do the Hello 40 birthday style, and you stitch anything by Hello from Liz Mathews. Now you can stitch a whip, you can stitch a new start, I don't care. You can fully finish a finish if you want. Like anything Liz Mathews counts. And my birthday is July 16th, but you can do it any day of July. July 1 to July 31st counts, right? You can do it every day. You can do it only on July 31st. It all counts. It's all sweet. Just tag me in it. I will love to see it. We love Liz Mathews. We have a joke that we have a hashtag that's Liz Mathews Mondays. And until the last couple months, I was doing it really consistently. I'm excited to get back to it.
Yeah.
But nobody else uses that hashtag. You're all invited to use that hashtag. But we started it when nobody watched us. And so like we
just did it for us.
And so we have it, and it's like, it's for us, but you're invited too. But if no one comes to the party, it's still we're still having a party. We love Liz Mathews, and I'm in her Patreon. So I'm going to start, on my birthday, I'm going to start Secret Garden, which is over. It was a Patreon chart that's gone now. But if you joined it and got it, start that. But you can start anything. And then on July 1st, we decided we're going to do the summer celebration freebie that has a little bee on it. And it's on her website, but it's one of the freebies we mentioned in our 30 free summer freebies. So the link to get it is on that video.
It will be my second free Liz Mathews Pattern because all of her stuff is good.
And it's like a perfect summer one. So
perfect.
Then I was talking about like starting that, and then we were like, oh, we have to show this anyway, so this is perfect. So our friends Bree and Ashlyn, they sent us this really sweet honeycomb card. I'm not going to read it because it's private, but they are really cool stitchers. They both have Instagram accounts that I'll link to, and Bree is the long dog from the state fair, is like an incredible stitcher. So I don't even, she must watch us and be like, what are they even talking about? Where she's like the grand champion of the Oklahoma State Fair.
Yeah.
But they're both great stitchers, and they went to Oklahoma, had a stitching retreat a couple weeks ago, and we never have retreats. So it was really, I had total FOMO. Like, it wasn't one of those where like a million people were talking about it, but it was one of those where I was like, oh, I really would have gone if I could have gotten it together, but I'll never. It's really hard to get it together to be gone for a weekend with little kids. But I know in the future I will get it together to go to something, and it's excited that there are stuff here. So they went to the retreat and they made their table gifts, and then they sent us each like what they're giving out at the retreat. And I also didn't want to post this on Instagram, so I wanted to wait for people to go to the retreat. But it's all like bee themed, so I'm so excited to put it in my like hello from Liz Mathews summer bag. But I gave Allison hers already, and some of it has been put away, so I'll show mine. So this cute little wristband, and then I'm not sure who made what, but I'm pretty sure one of the girls made the scissor fobs and one of the girls made the needle minders. But like, oh, these cute scissor fobs.
Look how freaking cute.
Mine's a thunderstorm, which is perfect for a summer pattern. This is like perfect.
Isn't that sweet?
And this is a little cloud.
Little cloud with raindrops. Oh my gosh.
And then these sweet little bee needle minders. And the retreat theme was like the honeybee stitching retreat. So and you can see Bree, the stitcher here. Or she's when we linked to her victory piece from the state fair, she had a different name and then she changed it. And I think they both won things from us before, and they were like saying thank you, but no thank you is needed when you win something. These gifts are incredible.
I mean, this is so cool.
Like this is, and also this is bigger than the pattern, but I'm also going to use it for the Secret Garden one. So I'm so excited to set these aside to use for my birthday SAL. And then little floss rings that are the like bicycle ones, so we can test these out, because we always use the binder clips, but people talk about.
I bought these.
Oh, really?
I bought a pack and I love them.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm very excited, so I'm gonna hit up my birthday starts with these.
They're definitely cool. In fact, you can put two together and make bigger ones.
Ooh.
Yeah. So.
And then it came with some really cool straws. You're already using your straw. And I was like, are you going to show it? She's like, oh, I'm using it.
I'm using it.
And my son is taking mine, which is fair. But thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you.
Have so much FOMO. I hope it was really fun, so that they want to do another one. And I can't wait to hear. Jacinta from Crafty on the Plains was also there. Like, it just would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
And also, it seems like a nice one to start out with if you're intimidated by the idea of going to like one of the big ones. Just go to one where you'll meet some cool people, but there won't be a lot of pressure. You're not gonna end up in the back of some big Flosstubers video, where you're look like a troll. And you're like, no, that's what I look like in real life. Don't show me. And then we got one. Oh no, I was like, if I forgot this, I'm gonna be so mad. We got one other piece of very sweet Stitchy Kindness.
Oh, you did. I got another one.
Oh, you have 2 more. Allison's really cleaned it up this week. So our friend Michelle, the Chinook Crafter up in Alberta, Canada. She posted that she was giving away some vintage stuff on her Instagram, and I guess you said yes. Me.
Yes. Look how.
But Allison hasn't seen them yet.
I haven't seen them yet, so I'm like, okay. But they're old cross stitch magazines,
and I think they're all Christmas themed, or one of them is Christmas themed.
She asked me which ones, and I was like, that one looks
Christmas?
good. That one looks good.
Oh, that's good.
I can't show you because it's just a pattern.
Is there a picture of this?
Oh, it must be that.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
This picture looks so good as the pattern. It'll look really good stitched.
That's so sweet.
But then Allison asked for something she was giving away. But then she stuck in this Told in a Garden for me, Blueberry Homecoming. And I miss my Told in a Garden too. I need to pull that out this month, even though I'm not going to have tons of time for it.
Yes.
I love Told in a Garden, and they're not technically out of print, but I'm starting to get worried that it's been they haven't done a reprint in a long, long time. So I'm starting to think I need to go through and earmark the ones I really, really want and just get them.
You say that about everything. I should just get it.
There's not many, because it's there's only 30 Oh, that's really cute. You can show that. That's really cool.
Look at that. Look at that. This weather is making everything shiny.
There we go. But there's only 30 patterns in Told in the Garden because she does Marriott Levitt and Love did Told in the Garden, Lavender and Lace, and Butternut Road, and she's Nora Corbett's mom. So I have a lot invested in this family in this room. But I have 5. And there's only 6 or 7 total that I really like, because there's
really
a lot that are in kind of a different style in the same okay, so basically the style, there's things about the style I love, things about the style I don't like. There are some patterns that do that thing I love a lot, and there are some patterns that don't do it very much at all, where then it becomes not interesting to me. But I love this. And the Runner Stitcher is starting the strawberry one that I really like too for the Strawberry Moon Sal. So
yes.
I just love Told in the Garden.
Good.
All right, so
Thank you,
Michelle. Love you. And Michelle is a mom of a very small child who works a full-time job. So anytime she records a Flosstube, I'm so appreciative that she has taken the time to share her stitching, because that is a lot. All right, and Allison has one more thing.
The Stitchy Kindness. I entered it's from the Floss Boss and Cousins. I
my
entered
gosh.
their giveaway for, I think it was their 1-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Their Flossiversary.
And a few people messaged me to tell me that we needed to make sure to enter this, because they were like, one of their giveaways is Allison needs it.
Yeah.
Jan Holder messaged me and was like, Allison's got to enter this. and Jan said that if she had won it, she said before it was announced that if she won, she would have given it to you.
Thanks, Jan. That's so sweet.
She's so sweet.
She is so sweet. I had made a joke on our Flosstube that everyone should go watch the episode, but don't enter to win this pattern because it's mine. And I won. They both won.
And Rose, on Twister Stitches, messaged me or left a comment on our
a couple different
instantly.
people,
but within 5 minutes, she was like, Allison needs to
go watch it.
Because if you don't sometimes people put out a lot of videos, you get caught up a few weeks later, and then it's already over. So
well, and I had seen it, and I was like, oh, it's me, and then I wrote an email that sat in my inbox for a week.
I did message you because I was like,
yeah, I felt bad about that. But isn't that awesome? The Snow White. This is the Thomas Kincaid kit.
So we'll link to it. We have a video that we did when Allison opened her first Thomas Kincaid and started it. But maybe in a few years when you have that done, we can do an update on it. But people do watch that video all the time.
That's cool.
So this will be your second one. But this is so there's the big ones, and then these are still out of print and valuable, but they're not the same prices. If you watch our most expensive kits videos, this size one doesn't crack that. But they're little excerpts, but they're still very
an out of
sweet.
print kit that you cannot get. And it's so nice.
Are you gonna?
Oh no, I learned my lesson. I will not be using the kit floss or the kit fabric. But I could not be more thrilled to have this. I think
you will love
amazing.
it. You will stitch it, and then
I'm saving it.
The cool thing is there are people who really love the fabric and who want to do it as the original. So when you're done, then I can pass it on to somebody who will use the flosses. They're not gonna
Well, that would be good. Yeah. I even bobinated all of the flosses from Cinderella. It's a whole box full of.
So you have a box of
floss I don't use.
Well, you know what? I bet when you're done with it, you probably can sell it.
Yeah.
And say here's a.
And it comes with a box. And of floss.
I sorted it. They're all bominated. Here's a video of us unboxing it. You know it's real.
I know there's a video proof.
I'm so excited for you.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much.
This community is so generous. And that's why every time I go to the mailbox to send something out, I'm like, this doesn't even come close to covering the generosity people have shown us.
My cat does parkour, so he jumps off the walls a little bit.
All right. Flosstube University. Okay, so we have on Thursdays, we put out our own lessons on Flosstube University. We're professors. And this week's is going to be all about DMC. So not super exciting if you're a longtime stitcher, but if you know cool things about DMC, definitely check out that video and comment anything else you know about it. Mm-hmm. But we also like to recognize and share when we learn something really cool on other people's floss tubes, because I actually learned to stitch mostly from Flosstube, and even though you had already stitched for a long time,
I learn things all the time. All the time I'm learning new things.
So we already talked about this, but I have two that I want to share. So the Sable Stitchers, who I already talked about, I realized last time I shared the cross stitch Salander from the Hathaway Stitchers, but I hadn't shared that the Sable Stitchers, they keep a running list of all the retreats that are out there. So the sablestitchers.net is a retreat calendar. And so you're I want to look for a retreat that's near me, how expensive is it? What do I need to do? Whatever. They try to keep really meticulous information about retreats, and then also link to where to go for more information.
Come here, Frankie.
Frankie is just what can I touch? And then the video that they put out yesterday had an amazing explanation in the beginning of what is a Quaker, because I'm kind of toying around with the idea of designing a Quaker. Don't know if I'll actually put it out there in the world, but at least so I'm looking for resources and what are some original Quaker motifs, because you don't want to just take other people's Quaker motifs that they're using. You want to go find the originals so that you can know because okay, so if a designer let's say a designer comes out with a reproduction of a Quaker motif on one of their samplers, they might have had to interpret something about it and made a decision about it. And so if you just go take their version of it, you're actually copying their work. And if they own the original sampler, there's debates about whether or not that's copyright infringement, but it's kind of messy and not cool. So mm-hmm. So I would like to find if there are books of original samplers that are just the ones that are just exist at the school or whatever, and see what some of those original ones are, because I wouldn't be doing a reproduction, I'd be doing a modern interpretation. Yeah. But I'd like to start as the inspiration as the originals and not the copies, so that I'm not taking someone else's work. Sure. So I'm gonna go back and rewatch that section because it was really interesting. She also showed they showed some books that I thought would be fun to see if I could afford. We learned in our most expensive cross stitch books videos that some sampler books
are a little pricey.
Are pricier than others.
Are pricey people.
So I would like to sampler people are pricey
people. People are pricey people. Do you listen to Las Culturistas? No.
I almost said so that's rule of culture, but that's a total if you don't listen to the podcast Las Culturistas, it makes no sense. But if you this niche joke is that samplers are pricey. Sampler people are pricey people is a rule of culture. It's only for people that listen to Las Culturistas. And you guys will get it. And no one else knows what I'm talking about. If you get it, leave in the comments so I don't feel alone. Okay. The second video that that I'll link to and share is Frizzy Lizzie Stitches just put out a very cool vlog. I don't think you saw it yet. She bought a Bisley floss organizer, which that's not what they really are for. It's just floss people have figured it out.
Yes.
And she bought the inserts, and she bought Adam Hart thread floss bobbins, and she got a master set, and she organized it.
Oh my.
And she did this from January till now, and she filmed it in little clips and put it all together. And so she shares, like, as she's going, she's changing her process and stuff. So by the end, you see what the end result is. And it was...
I have to go watch this.
Guys,
Stop filming.
So, well, luckily we're almost done.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, so all we have... Oh, anyway, so that video was great. If you can tell by Alice's...
I know. Let's go. Let's watch this.
What are we doing now?
Why are we still talking?
So all we have left is our giveaway and our emoji.
Okay, those are good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our giveaway from last week was this Christmas angel for Cactus and threw his entire body into the wall to try to jump onto the window and missed. And now he's looking at this video. Okay, so our giveaway from last week was this Christmas angel, and the winner, which I'm really excited about because this person has watched us for a long time and commented a lot, is D-A-Z Stitcher. D Arizona Stitcher. So, you have won this. Please send me a DM on Instagram to, here's my Instagram. Please send me a DM, or you can DM Allison, with your address, and I still owe the September Fairy. Still hasn't gone out yet, so I'll mail them. I promise I'll mail them both Monday. Well, I'll mail September Fairy and something else on Monday, and then I'll mail this. If you don't get back, send me your address. If you don't have Instagram, because I can't remember if we interact on Instagram or not, then just comment on this video. I do not have Instagram. I will know what it means, and I will give you my email address. I'm not, I just want to avoid getting my email address put on a million spammy things. Yes. Anyway, congratulations, you won this. It's the pattern, the fabric, a random piece of floss, and a needle. Congratulations. And this, and our giveaway for today, we're both saved from a thrift store by the Stitch X Love on Instagram, Donna, who has sent us other things in the past. She also sent September Fairy, which I'm mailing this week, I promise.
Sweetheart.
So kind. If anybody out there has patterns and you're like, I want to get them in the hands of stitchers, but I don't know how, or I don't know what to do. If you want to mail them to us, we will then do them as giveaways and get them to stitchers and do the hard work of like individually mailing them and finding people and everything. So
yeah.
All right, today's giveaway is also from Donna. It's also heart and hand. It is the 2000 Collector's Heart. And it's very sweet and very cute. I know they just came out with a book of Collector's Hearts. I don't know if this is in that book. So I did not check to see if this is a $3 pattern or a $30 pattern. Like, I'm assuming it's in print somehow.
Yeah.
But I didn't check. So we'll know if a whole bunch of people comment on it if we guessed wrong. But we both were like, doesn't matter if it is or not, because we're not going to stitch it. So if you...
That's very sweet.
If you want this pattern, use the word heart, H-E-A-R-T, heart, in your comments. Don't use the word win or giveaway or contest or anything like that. You need to be at least 18. You can live anywhere in the world. I'll mail it anywhere in the world. But you need to be at least 18. You need to like, it'd be cool if you like the video. You need to subscribe to our channel.
Hold on.
It has no value. Allison tried to get Frankie.
I tried to get him because he will not.
He is, yeah. He's acting like
he's having a moment. I think it's
toddler.
It's the storm.
He's acting like a human toddler.
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't have any value if it gets lost in the mail or something.